right, Ben, so we're here, Broken Tee Society member. Dude, talk to me about your short game and why are you here today? What do you want to get better? What would be your goal at the end of this lesson?
My short game is really the biggest problem, I think, is just inconsistency. I feel I can't really string anything together from round to round. I have kind of things that happen sporadically, and I'm like, ooh, let's try to focus on that, and then
the next day it's different.
The next day is different. So I think
or maybe the next hole it might be even different
or
too.
the next swing, you know, yeah. It could be either one. So I think the biggest thing for me is just inconsistency and trying to find things that I can always use as a home base to really kind of work on and really use moving forward, and always go back to things even if I stray from it or the day is different, you know, looking to try to use, you know, some sturdy pillars to kind of, you know, work from.
All right, so let's watch you hit a few shots and kind of observe what the misses, what the good ones might be, and see if we can't give you, you know, a couple recipes to get you in a better spot.
Sounds good.
So that would be
that'd be an example of
that.
So
that would be an example. You can kind of see, like,
you know, it's kind of stopping. Like I just kind of
how much turf comes up, right? I want to show you a video of you face on. Well, you look like Keith Mitchell to start with, right? With the sweet visor. All right, so this is right at address. Okay, so a couple things stand out to me. Number one, the distance away your feet are from each other. I'm not sure when I look at that photo. I'm not sure if you're gonna hit this 50 yards, 100 yards, or 8, 9, 10 yards. Okay. I don't really know from that setup. So get your feet wide where they were before, kind of like that. So if I were to put 10% weight here, you're still in balance, right? If I were to move 10%, you're still in balance. Now feet all the way together, touch them, okay? Now if I were to put 10% weight here, what happens?
Right.
You're gonna fall over.
Right.
So what it's going to do is it's going to actually help your low point have some integrity, right? Because you can't be moving and moving. So that shank that we hit, that's from too much movement, right?
Okay.
Handle drag, too much movement, hosel gets involved.
Okay.
You get the feet together, now all of a sudden your low point becomes better.
Right.
That's one thing. But it also slows your ball speed down, right? You look at like the long drivers, right? Fast Eddie, like Martin Borgmeyer, like Kyle Berkshire, they're like this, right?
Right.
Because they're trying to create some ball speed.
Right.
I want to be able to look at you in a picture and be like, okay, your feet are, this guy's going to hit some finesse, right? And so I want you to tell me a story with your setup.
Okay.
So show me the old setup, right? So we can see like your feet are wide, right? You're actually aimed left, and then the shaft is forward. So from this spot, as we work into the newer setup, feet are gonna get closer together, which again, actually, as you get your feet closer together, it doesn't really make sense for you to then drop this thing way back, right? So it actually helps your alignment. Second part was the shaft, right? We're gonna take the shaft from leaning probably 10 degrees forward back to a more neutral spot. Okay, this is going to give you a little more loft at address. And then the last thing we're going to do is get this club face right about there, just opening it just a fraction. This is going to help engage the bounce a bit more as well. Okay. So from there, like to me, that looks like a tour player type of a setup, right? I mean, it's just crazy, right? First shot. So like even your even your attack angle got shallower, right? Because you weren't here.
Right.
The one of the things that we talked about was that we talked about in the beginning was your turf interaction, right? And now in the last like 10, 15 shots, where's that turf interaction gone? Right? It's almost disappeared. Now, we haven't really talked about, hey, I want you to get more shallow or whatever. It's just sort of happened through setup and backswing, right? For most people, the struggle with chipping comes from a fear of turf interaction. If you've got a fear of turf interaction, that's where the blade comes in, right? Because you're like, oh, I don't want to stick it in the ground and chunk it, so let me back out of it and blade it. Right, which is sort of the misses that you had talked to me about, and that's the misses that most of golfers across the world deal with. So if we can build you like a love of turf interaction where it's like shallow and you're just sort of brushing or bruising the grass, now all of a sudden you're not afraid of the grass. That frees you up quite a bit, right? And that's where we want to get you to get to that point of being really free. Beautiful. Man, is that good? Look how much spin that had on it too, right? Isn't that unbelievable?
It's crazy.
Holy cow.
Crazy.
But like the thing is, I feel like, don't you feel like you're trying less?
Oh, absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
Like if I were to say, hey, hit a spinner, you'd probably be like, well, let me, right?
Right.
And it'd be so complicated.
Yeah.
But yeah, that ball just spun a ton, right? For a 10-yard carry.
Well, like I feel like I barely even, even though I went through the ball, I barely touched it. You know, and it's still,
Yeah. And so it's us, the key to putting spin on the golf ball is speed.
Right.
You have to have speed. Now, for a 10-yard carry, you better put the speed in the right spot.
Right.
So if you go this way with it, now all of a sudden you got to account for that. And most of the time, because you've gone here, you're going to start to slow down. Slowing down is not going to put spin on the golf ball.
Right.
Speeding up is going to put spin on it. So for you, as we change the backswing, now all of a sudden you're more encouraged to rotate through it with some speed. Boom! All of a sudden spin comes up, but you didn't even try to spin it. That's the cool part about it. Cool. The next thing we're gonna kind of talk about is the actual swing itself. So in the actual swing, for a shot like this, I'm gonna get you to feel like you're actually moving your body more and moving your arms and hands less. Okay. So the swing is actually going to be a little shorter, but you're actually going to feel like you're moving more. Okay. Okay. So right now the engine of your swing is with your hands and your arms, right? And you kind of get it into a spot here. I want to see it more like body pivoting to this spot. So you're going to feel like you move quite a bit, but you're actually going to probably take it less far because you're getting the wrists a bit too much engaged to give you a bit more of that vertical look. So feel like on this one that it's more like your lats and your rib cage that sort of pivot you back. Okay.
So kind of more.
There you go. Yeah. So put the club in your belly button. Yep. And then grip down here like a normal grip. Get in golf posture. Now pivot back to me. Beautiful. Now soften your hands. This is kind of where you should be. Okay. But how much more did you move this? Oh yeah. A lot more, right? Yeah. And you haven't done this, right? This, you get this thing up this high. How's the landing going to be if you go up this high, right? It's going to be steep and sticky. That's my problem. And that's when you freak out. Yeah. So if we can feel like this thing is getting more this way and you've got some width, now you can get some shallowness on the way through. That's going to be really key. Okay. So feel like that drill that we just did, right, where you pivot back this way, feel like that's where you're gonna go. Yep, there you go. Okay. So feet are close together, good. And just feel like you just turn and turn with the rib cage back and through. Okay, try it again. So I want that backswing to get just a little bit. A little bit more? No, or like that one actually went like really far. Okay. I want it to pretty much, so take a practice backswing. Too far. Yep, perfect, just like that. Okay. And then I don't want you coming in this way on the way through. Okay. I just want you to go pivot. Okay. So I'm gonna leave this here as awareness, so you can just pivot and pivot. Beautiful, dude. For you, the feeling is, it probably feels way short on the backswing, right? A little bit, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but you feel like you're moving more.
It feels more solid, I guess. I mean, it feels more solid through the ball because it's more of a unit as opposed to here and here. Yeah, our bigger muscles they move slower than our smaller muscles, right? The small muscles in our hands can move really fast. You can kind of get that like real flash speed with the hands, which is going to get you some of those ones that come out hot.
I want to be able to take that away and be able to use some of the bigger muscles to be the engine of this swing.
Right.
And it's going to feel like you said, like more of a unit, right? It's all sort of working together. Go ahead and hit a couple more. And let's. Yeah, so even that drop kick right there,
yeah.
right? It's still in that 6 foot circle. It's not way over there, shanked right. It's not here. It's not way over the green. You still got a chance to make par, right? But all of a sudden you just tighten it up around the greens because your margin of error went in your favor.
Right.
Versus like, no, I got to be perfect on every short kick shot. It's like,
well, and that's, I mean, as I've said, like, I think that, for me, I can, once I'm at this point, in my head, I'm like, okay, this is going to be a par.
Yeah.
I mean, no question. If not a shot at birdie, but then we're 3 shots later, or from here. So it's exactly. Like, and then you look back at the hole, you're like, what just happened?
You're like, I hit 3 good shots and I walked away with double.
Yeah.
Wow, dude, that's so good.
That felt.
I think for you, understanding setup, understanding your backswing, and how both of those things play into how you then react on the way through. Right? If you get the setup wide, handle forward, long backswing, now all of a sudden you're going to react much differently than feet together, shaft more neutral, and a better, more structured backswing. Crazy how quick all of a sudden your shallowness went off the charts good, and your low point control all of a sudden became good. Like every single one of those shots, your low point was great. Whereas when we started, it was like big divot here and then ball first on the next one, right? So your low point was sort of all over the place. The fun thing is like your good ones were really good, right? And you had a couple that were spinning and stuff. But the thing that I was most excited about was that your misses, the miss hits that you had, that you felt, still 6 feet away.
Well, that's what's super exciting to me too, because you feel like be aggressive here, and try to make the shot as opposed to just getting by. And that's I think what I was doing before, is I was trying to skate by the hole as opposed to making sure that I made the shot.
And sometimes some technique changes can lead to attitude changes. Now you're like, this is going to be fun, right? And then the whole goal is to make golf fun and enjoyable so that you can shoot the lowest scores possible. But showing off for the buddies is always a good side benefit, right?
For sure, yeah. Well, I mean, there's way more confidence now. I mean, I think, with the ability to not only get to the point of being put in this situation, but confidence to finish it. Whereas before, like I said, I never really had that on a consistent basis.
Yeah. So. That's great, man. You crushed it, dude.
Thank
nice
you so
work,
much.
man.
Yeah, it's been great, Parker. Thank you. So my experience today has been phenomenal. I mean, I really don't get any opportunities at all to have any kind of direct coaching, and the fact of tweaking, just a few things with my short game has drastically improved my confidence and shown me that I can really become more consistent, hopefully using these things around the greens, and I really believe I can. And so it's been an incredible experience to be able to work with Parker and get that information to use in my game.